Sup guys, it's Anderson 977 here today to do Zankyou no Terror in Resonance, episode 7 review. Now this episode of Zankyou no Terror was, oh my god, that was just crazy, right? A lot of crazy stuff happened in this episode of Zankyou no Terror. Crazy stuff. I mean 5 and 9. Here's what I pick up, right? Personally for me, I pick up that there's some deep rivalry between 9 and 5, even more so than between 5 and 12, or anyone else that is involved. There's some deep rivalry there between 9 and 5, probably because 9 is revealed to be the actual leader of Sphinx, while 12 is his partner that he uses to actually help him. But overall, this episode, right, hit all the right spots in all the right places. It was very suspenseful. It was very knee-jerking. It was crazy, right? Action up the wazoo. A lot of outsmarting went down on both the basis of 5 and Sphinx. That includes 9, 12, Lisa. A lot of stuff went on in this episode. It was just crazy. And towards the end of this episode, right, when we see that when it was revealed to both 9 and 12 that the real bomb that they're actually searching for is actually on the plane that Lisa is on at the same time, and the plane at the same time is being remote controlled to head into the airport where it was intended to explode and possibly kill innocent civilians in the process. But 9 figured out that they could probably, from their location at that time, use a diversion to get people out of the area so that even when the bomb went off, innocent civilians wouldn't be hurt, right? Kind of ironic at the same time coming from terrorists, right? As I've said, it is strange that these guys are really terrorists, but at the same time we haven't seen them fatally kill or wound anyone yet, and it's already 7 episodes in this series and they are so-called terrorists. It's known that they have stolen the plutonium, right? For what reason we do not know. That has yet to be revealed. But for terrorists, they sure are very merciful, right? They sure want to help others. And even in this episode, when it's revealed that Lisa was stranded on the plane with the bomb heading to the airport, 12 wanted to save her because it's obvious that he has now grown more accustomed, more attached to Lisa, so he considers her his friend. And he was saying that what about Lisa, what's going to happen to her? And even 9 turned around and decided to help her in that respect. So for terrorists, these guys are pretty merciful, right? They really go out of their way to actually help people or to save people, especially in this episode when the bomb was going off. I mean, from their perspective, even though it didn't concern them, and I'm sure that they wanted to kind of uphold their name in the way that they were being framed in this way for this bomb attack that should have happened, that didn't happen. But at the same time, right, they are so-called terrorists. That's not what you would likely expect terrorists to do or behave. So it's a lot of stuff going on. When Lisa was on the plane, 12 was giving her instructions of what to do to jump down from the plane. She jumped down at the last minute, and he actually, before I should have said this, that Sphinx took on the aid of Shibazaki and the metropolitan or the local police department in Japan, right? They called him for help because in this one unique situation they both had mutual they both had mutual coincidentally coinciding agreements or interests in this episode, right? Both of them had mutual interests, which is the general well-being of the public in regards to the bomb that was going down. So even though these guys are basically enemies, as opposed to each other, the police is trying to capture Sphinx. They want to bring them to justice for all the so-called crimes that they've done. Even though they have blown up places, yes, and they have declared that they do have bombs, the police know about how dangerous they actually are, sorry. So the police know that these guys have potential to cause widespread devastation and destruction, but they haven't necessarily done so as of yet, so that's questionable. But these guys, even though the police have been humiliated time and time again by Sphinx, Shibazaki in this case, and we also get to see more of a connection or sort of character development between the two characters of Nine and Shibazaki. Right, when Shibazaki was running through that tunnel, that hallway, he had this kind of probably urge or sixth sense or something that the person that ran past him, there was something up right there, but he didn't look too much into it because he was busy going somewhere else. But Nine already does know about Shibazaki, he knows his face, so running in that situation, Nine must have already picked him up before he picked up that someone that possibly Nine ran past him. That's before Shibazaki even picked up that Nine ran past him. So right there, he calls Shibazaki for help because these guys are police. Shibazaki tells his friends about the plan. They kind of make this plan where they're going to use a distraction between their police squad and the police squad that's supposed to guard the control tower of the airport. He makes a beeline with he basically used his guys to hold off those police guys so that he could slip through and run up to the top of the control tower. When he got up there, Five wasn't necessarily expecting this at all, and she was very upset. So Five, the character Five and her motivations, there's something very interesting and ironic about her as well, right? She's supposedly working with the police department, but at the same time, when this situation was working out where a lot of people would be saved instead of the bomb going off, she seemed very upset. As in, why would you're supposed to be working with the police department? I mean, why are you going to let countless innocent civilians get killed in this way? Right? Shouldn't you, even if you wanted to make a statement with 9 and 12, it doesn't have to be made in this way where innocent civilians will be involved and where their lives could be possibly lost. Right? There's something mismatch about that right there. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? It's crazy. That's without a doubt. It's crazy, a lot of stuff going on. So, and it seems that the terrorist organization Sphinx, who are the supposedly bad guys in this case, were the good guys because they prevented the bomb from going off and saved the civilians, while the FBI department or those American groups with Five are supposedly the bad guys because they were willing to get innocent people involved where they would possibly get killed in the explosion. So you're confused of sorts in this episode, but it's good because it wants it's really that hook that keeps you coming back for more. You just want more and more, and you're wondering what's going to happen next. So it's crazy good. Yes, it's very, very good. But another thing that I want to touch on is the fact that 9 and 5, they met up. 5 using 12 and his computer technical skills, he sneaked past all of the cameras easily. He went through all of their blind spots. I'm not necessarily sure about how he did that because as the guys who were watching the videos were saying that that should be impossible for a normal human to do. Maybe he has some kind of seemingly psychic like abilities, who knows, because it was the last couple episodes back at least that he has synesthesia, right, which is this kind of rare medical condition where he sees sound or something like that. So maybe there's more to this 12 that we will find out more about. He seems more like a gifted, like a physically gifted person who is light on his feet, agile, able to kind of come up with smart, smooth movements, stuff like that. Where it's like, for example, in this episode, he was able to figure out all the camera's blind spots almost instantly and hide from them. Where 9 on the other hand is more intellectual. He's more like a genius. Yeah, he's more like the brains of the group. He's more like the genius of the group. definitely has the brains. So that's interesting, and it also goes to show you, as I was saying before, where I get sidetracked was 9 and 5 they actually met, and upon them meeting up, 9 was questioning 5 about why she's doing this, why they're coming after them. But police began shooting and he had to run away. Now we don't know the whole story of what is actually going on between 9, 12, and 5, between Sphinx, the group, and 5. We don't know the whole story, but we have glimpses here and there. But as I said, there's a clear rivalry, there's a clear competition between 9 and 5. So as this series progresses, I'm sure that we'll see more of that. Now, another thing that I want to point out and mention is the fact that 5, she now has Lisa on her radar. She has her school ID. I mean, this trick, she's no joke. She has Lisa's school ID and she's staring at it. And she said for the end of this episode that she won't let Lisa get away again. So she definitely has something planned. You know, there's some trick up her sleeve that involves Lisa, and I'm guessing not in a good way. From how we've seen 5 being portrayed this past couple episodes, not in a good way. And she also goes on to say that she's going to make Shibazaki regret helping Sphinx, right? Whatever that means. But I mean, you're with the police department, for crying out loud. Why are you making threats, right? Threats that actually help the greater good of the general public. So it's crazy. Overall, it's crazy, but it's good crazy. And this episode, the whole chess match, seemingly 9-1, that chess match, but this was actually playing all according to 5's plans. So they figured out that even though they won the match, the bomb where they expected it to be was not where it should have been, which I pretty much picked up from the beginning. I mean, this is 5. There's no reason why she should put the bomb where they think it should be. That would just make it easier for them. But overall, I thought that this was another awesome episode of Zankyou Terrain Resonance. The anticipation keeps building, the action keeps building, suspense. It's just crazy, and I'm really enjoying this. So that's it. That's my review. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Sayonara.